Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cryptocom Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, is this really worth investing in? Today we'll be looking at Bitgert, which also used to be known as Bitrise, but it's also known as Brise. So let's have a look. So it says that we currently have a market cap of 311 million. Now, this is not quite confirmed because, as you can see, it's got a little triangle being like possibly around this sort of much. But if it was worth that much, keep in mind that this project would technically come somewhere between, because there are a few other sort of sites which say that it could be somewhere between maybe 267 million to like was it 311 million? So that means that it'll be somewhere between 145 to 165 in terms of the actual ranking. So it's pretty high if that's actually true. Cool. But then it also says that its current rank is 2,874. But let's continue looking here. So when we have a look at the price, it was very cheap pretty early on. Then it just went up and then went on a huge pump right around there, which was the start of November. And then so steadily drop. People were probably yelling and screaming, rugpull, scam. And then went back up again, and then it did it again. So people might have been screaming the same thing. And then now we're at near, like, I think we are actually at an all-time high right now. Right at this moment. So yes, what is Bitgert anyway? Let's just briefly have a look at it. So this is what Bitgert claims. Bitgert is a crypto engineering organization which has built the fastest blockchain, which has the speed of 100,000 transactions per second and near zero transaction fees. Bitgert is the fastest blockchain of 2022 and the fastest growing ecosystem with projects spanning, and you guys can read the rest of that jazz. Yeah, so what makes it unique? Bitgert has delivered more than 4 amazing products within just 200 days from the launch date. I don't know if that makes them unique. I think there's others which are like that, but anyway. And then so they claim that they can do 100,000 transactions per second, and they have a gas fee which is very, very low. So definitely benefit with the gas fee, which is very low, and yeah, with those transactions per second, that's quite a lot. But here's one of my concerns. So one of my concerns is, so first of all, these guys are probably one of the fastest which is currently around, but bear in mind that from some of the other news which we currently have, so Hydra Layer scales Cardano added to reach 2 million transactions per second. So that's possible without this part of the Cardano feed, and Yahoo Finance also mentioned something about that as well. So I'm just saying, when we have a look at those sort of things, these guys are not the fastest, but when comparing to, let's say, Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitgert is faster than all of them. So just bear that in mind. Yeah, so pretty impressive, man. Pretty impressive stuff. But what is also another concerning thing is that I don't think we actually have a proper blockchain with these guys just yet. They are developing one, but we will be having a look at some of those little bits of jazz. So they're currently on the Binance smartchain with the Bitrise token, aka the Brise token, and you can currently purchase it on pancakeswap, gate.io, and MXC, and a few others. So you know, so these guys are on a few exchanges, a few little places here and there. So, you know, not all is awful. They're also a proof of assignment, which is quite interesting. So they do proof of assignment, which is something where essentially they kind of do like micro mining using IoT devices, which is kind of interesting and quite cool. Yeah, so I did do another video on the MXC network, regarding some IoT things as well. And then I did another one on Jasmine, which got a lot of hate. I mean, I don't think I did very well with that video, to be honest, so don't watch it. But, you know, keeping it there because I want to be transparent and all that jazz, you know. Let's, anyway, so let's have a look at what we can see on BSCscan. So most tokens have actually been burned. As you can see, the majority has been burned. It says 57% right there, so that's huge. The next highest wallet is a contract, which is absolutely fine from my point of view. And everything else is underneath 2.5%, which from what I can see, this is fantastic, or this is wonderful. However, here is one of the interesting concerns, is that we don't know how much percent that actually could be in terms of what is currently circulating. If there was a way to be able to see that, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe like minus the null address, because I mean, this dude, instead of holding 2%, he might actually be holding like, I don't know, like 12%, and this guy might actually be holding like 36% or something like that. So yeah, we'll see what we can actually find in terms of BSCcheck and tokensniffer. We got a little warning here. So it says buy tax and sell tax is 12%. We will have a look. Actually, let's have a look now at what that is. So with the tokenomics, it says total 12% transaction fees, so 5% buyback, 3% marketing, and 4% BUSD distribution to stakers. So it's pretty nifty. They actually do intend to have you get rewards. So static rewards get rewarded 4% of every transaction in BUSD just for staking. 5% of each transaction adds to the buyback wallet, so we can do regular buybacks and regular burns. All tokens that we buy back, we will burn, making price impact greater. So honestly, all of that sounds pretty darn fabulous. So car pie to these guys. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else on the white paper which is really going to be that interesting. Other than this does give us a bit of a brief description as to what the Brise token is used for. I'm going to let you guys pause and unpause with the screen so you can have a read. In fact, let me zoom in so that, you know, if you're on your phone, then you can see fabulously. Cool, car pie, wonderful. Moving on. What else does BSCcheck tell us? It says ownership has not been renounced, which is not too concerning unless, you know, we see anything on these other tabs which tell us that we should be concerned. Dev tokens, 12%. So keep in mind that this 12% isn't a contract, so that's why I don't think that is very threatening. I haven't seen anything regarding their vesting schedule or anything, but we can possibly have a look and see if there's any sort of lockups. And as we can see with the others, it looks pretty good as well. Cool. Next stage. So this is tokensniffer. So buy and sell fee is 12%. That's absolutely fine. Now here's some interesting little bits of jazz. Okay, so no prior similar token contracts. So there have been other token contracts which have been like this in the past. Here are some of them: Magma token, Mystery Doge, 5x, Honey Bunny coin. Sorry. And Elon Genshin Impact. So it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means heed caution, maybe. If any of those were sort of rug pulls, but we don't know whether or not these have actually been rug pulls, but judging by their names, chances are they probably are. But there are also some other projects which I've focused on, like Catgirl, and what's the other big one which I've done? Flappy Floki, or whatever, so, you know. They may not necessarily be rug pulls, but they have the potential to be. So yeah, not those ones, but I mean, I'm talking about some of these jazzes. But anyway, sorry, moving on. The source does not. So the source does contain a fee modifier, so they can change the transaction fee. Little horror story. Have heard about this one project where people tried to sell it, and people were complaining that they couldn't sell it. And then when they finally did allow the tokens to be sold, they had like a 96% fee in terms of selling it. So, I mean, yeah, people didn't really get the money which they wanted back from the project. So that's why this could potentially be a bad thing in terms of the honeypot risk. We will have a look on Moonarch to see if we can find any of these concerning things regarding minting new tokens, changing fees, or disabling selling. But we know so far that they do have a fee modifier, so they can actually change that much, which could be a potential thing for concern. Holy bananas! That's not right. Am I tripping? Am I actually tripping? What the heck is that? So unfortunately, I tried to see if I could find any details regarding this, because it says that that 98% is locked until the year 2100. I do not know why they did that. If anybody knows, please feel free to comment. I did try chatting to them on Discord, because their Telegram, they've blocked off me being able to comment, so carpi. Yeah, if I've never seen that before. If anybody knows, feel free to chime in. Cool. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do my little special introduction thing. You know, it's better late than never. Guys, if this is your first time to my channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, nothing I say in this video at all should be considered as financial advice, should only be taken in educational, inspirational, and entertainment purposes. And if you want to comment, please be kind. Please make it beneficial to people. Please only speak truth. Please don't just chill and be a bunch of maxis because you guys are a bunch of salty boys that I'm roasting your projects. Yeah. So really trying to create a community based on finding out the truth behind projects and not just shilling because we feel like shilling projects. Although your boy definitely has his favorites. Cool. So according to KuCoin, we currently have over or almost $900,000 worth of BNB in the liquidity pool. So that is attractive. That is attractive. And this does say that market cap is around 262 million, but that includes locks and excludes burns. And let's have a look at this jazz. So unfortunately, we can't see the liquidity lock for this. Although it does say liquidity locks on pancakeswap, but we actually do want to see the one for DX lock. So just to let you guys know before I forget, so the other day, or a little while ago, I actually did focus on another one, and apparently the DX lock, they're sort of showing a bit of an issue when it comes to the UI. They have like a JS error or something like that, so yeah, just so that you guys are aware of that jazz. So unlocked we have 42%, burnt 57%, locked, and then unlocked is a very small percentage of that. So yeah, so it says that we have 960 liquidity. So let's have a look at some of these things on the right hand side. This is something to just be aware of. So the 50% of the supply is burned. Mint function, that's pretty much with almost everybody. We'll see if we can see anything which is sort of concerning here. Owner can blacklist addresses, so 100% risk. So let's say if you're like mega rich, then they can possibly be like, no, you can't have that much money, G. And you won't be able to sell that sort of jazz. There might even be I don't know if it's possible to bulk blacklist wallets, but that could possibly be possible. Just sort of bear that jazz in mind. But something which has got this much liquidity, I think it's a bit less of a chance in terms of it being honeypotted, but there's a possibility still nonetheless. So they can actually change the fees as well, which once again is that sort of honeypot risk thing. They can set the max sell transaction amount. Now that could be another concerning thing. It's interesting how it doesn't say honeypot risk next to this. So one thing which is potentially suspicious about this one here is that withdraw has only owner. What the heck? Don't know what that is. Is that they could hypothetically say like, oh, you're only allowed to withdraw like one Brise, like every 24 hours or something crazy. I think that's kind of how it works. But you can sort of like manipulate that and suit them to match your needs. Match them to suit your needs. Yeah, so that's one kind of potential cause for concern is that jazz. Liquidity wallet, update gas for processing. So yeah, update claim weight. So this, I don't know what this could be for. Now remember, if anybody has any ideas on what any of these potential code things could mean, please do comment about them, because we do want to try to learn and be more wiser when it comes to this cryptocurrency market. But I'm going to assume that update claim weight is when you actually try to claim the rewards, they may be able to extend how long you have to wait to be able to claim those. So there's a few potentially concerning lines within the contract. But yeah, so take it your own risk. I don't know. So we can have a look at Reddit itself. Actually, let's have a look to see if we can see anything on here. Sorry, I just saw something really funny. So I was just having a look through some of the general Reddit posts to get an idea of some of these things or what have you. This one's hilarious. Where are we going? To hell if we don't pray. True. Anyway, so yeah, let's let's have a look at some of these stats. So as we can see, oh sorry, I forgot to mention that the token age is 8 months old. Which actually does line up quite nicely with how long the actual release has been, and in terms of where the Reddit stuff has gone. So these guys have definitely tried to be front running this whole jazz, which is quite interesting. Also, something else interesting is that if you do actually want to buy into the Brise token, is this one here. I'd suggest looking up Stop Wasting on Slippage on Reddit itself, on the Bitrise token or slash Bitrise token, because this could be something which maybe you might want to use to save some money. For instance, cool, trying to be helpful. So subscribers all the way from single digit to doubles to quads, and then we're currently sitting at about 3,000, so it's been a little bit lackish leading up to that stage. Comments per day, had some big comments around then, which probably also might align up with the coinmarketcap jazz, but not so much socializing recently. Doesn't mean that it's bad, just, you know, less socializing. And cool. So in terms of the community, it does feel like they could be popping off a little bit. Their Discord server's only got like 900 members, but like a bunch of them have only just like joined recently. So those are some potential things to consider. Let's have a look at some Twitter stats. So these guys have continuously been seeing constant numbers, it looks like. Constant pluses. Ooh, take that back. Except for before the 7th. They had a few days of minuses, but overall over the last 30 days they have got an extra new 5,000 followers, and the user was created on July the 3rd. Cool, Carpi. Let's continue looking at this jazz. When we have a look at when I have had a look over some of the kind of like comments and the sentiment, judging by the comments, it seems people were a little bit salty because like they were like, why is this price dumping? But remember, so that was on the 16th of February, which if we have a look, 16th of February is right there. So people being like, yo, what's happened to the price, fam? We had a good price up here, why'd it go all the way down? But then, you know, like it then started pumping pretty hugely recently again as well. Yes, so there has been some things happening. Why I dumped, and then so people are just sort of posting a little bit of news about that sort of jazz. People were questioning and asking things. Also, here's something interesting. So Bitgert has surpassed Binance Coin in Google search trend. So they've actually surpassed Binance Coin, and they've surpassed Polkadot in terms of the actual search within Google Trends. So I mean, Carpi, man, cool, good job. So yeah, and then another announcement: can someone please teach me how to buy this token? There is a video on how to do it if you want to. They do have it on their sort of main page. One of the videos on their, like the video for how you can buy the token, only goes up to 360p. That's not a very good sign in my point of view. But yeah, I mean that's just being a little bit kind of niche. So let's find out some Google Trends. So as we can see, so the yellow represents Brise, red represents Bitrise. Actually, I'm going to be taking Bitrise out because Bitrise is also, and this is why I think they might have changed their name, Bitrise is also the name of a, it's like a mobile developing app platform thing, so we will be taking that out briefly. And Brise, interestingly enough, in French means breeze, and it's apparently a ballet dance move thing. So, how about for safety, we just do Bitgert, eh? Well, but I mean, keep in mind, they sort of changed their name pretty recently, so yeah, we'll stick to Bitgert anyway. So they probably only did it like around that sort of time. So people probably knew it as Bitrise all the way up until that moment. Actually, we will get Brise back. So yeah, as we can see, in terms of the trends, they've been following each other pretty closely, but Brise has definitely been sort of one of the more popular terms to be searched, of course. Cool. So let's move on. Exchange partners, our products. Let's have a look at some of their roadmap, because that's pretty good. Actually, so the benefits for everyone. So global coverage, reliability, big partnerships. I haven't seen anything about partnerships. There's also people saying that, you know, there's going to be some big exchange listing, and I don't know what, dude. I know that Binance, I think they've started like a similar thing to coinmarketcap, where they sort of like list coins with like prices and stuff like that. I don't know if it's like leading up to them potentially incorporating these coins and tokens. But yes, I'm not entirely sure. Cool. So let's move on. Roadmap. So we've got a bunch of things which are being completed, which is cool. Major CEX listings. What? Where are you listed on? None of these are extremely major, except for Gate.io is probably one of the more major ones. Also got a link in bio if you want to sign up to that one. Gate.io was a good boy. Yeah. But they call themselves a DEX, but they are actually a CEX. Lending and exchange phase ongoing. So this is currently where we are sitting at. Charity foundation, interesting. And then so they're going to be leading into the blockchain phase, which is the blockchain development roadmap v 2.0. So relay, parachain, smart contracts. So yeah, it looks like these guys are really trying to build something which is really neat, from what we can sort of see / understand. And this is just a bit of a brief summary of the tokens in the Brise chain. Now keep in mind when I actually asked on their Discord, and then I got ignored after asking this question. So I got an answer regarding so will the Brise token still be remaining on BSC on the Binance Smart Chain? And the answer was yes. However, I personally think that they'll probably actually have it as their own coin instead of actually being listed as a token. And the person responded to me. I asked him if he actually works for them, and he ignored me. So then I just left. Yeah, that website is gone and domain up for sale. He is right though. That was regarding Bitrise though. So yeah. So the final question. This has felt like quite a long video, but it's only been 21 minutes. So the final question is: should you invest into this? So let me give you an idea of some of the things which I find a bit risky. So first of all, we don't know who is behind the project. We've got no faces, no names. So if let's say they did decide to rug pull, then they potentially could. One good thing about it though is that because this 12% is tied to a contract, and because no major person actually holds a giant amount, then that could potentially mean that it is safer to invest in. One of the other possible risks though is because of what we have seen from Moonarch, that they can actually, or Moonarch and tokensniffer, is that they can potentially change the transaction fee. They can also possibly change, so they might be able to blacklist some wallets, and they may also be able to and they may also be able to change the max sell amount for what you can sell. So all of those things are pretty concerning, to be honest. We also don't see any sort of major partnerships or anything. Their roadmap's pretty tight. So once again, the holders are pretty tight. We don't have any interviews. When I did try to look up interviews for Bitgert, I then tried Bitrise, but then the Bitrise interviews were for like some Hungarian company and like another mobile company or something like that. So yeah, and also, if let's say the founders do decide to I don't know, reveal themselves, that'd be great. But yeah, and in terms of the exchanges, I mean, I don't know what sort of news in terms of whether the exchanges are actually, like, whether they actually do have a major CEX. But from what I can see, even though they say that it is complete in terms of their major CEX listings, it doesn't feel like they have actually achieved that. Yeah, unless of course any of you guys know of anything, you're very welcome to comment. Because yeah, I want to be able to be very truthful with this project. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching my video. If you like what I do, please, once again, like and subscribe as usual. Also go to Patreon if you want to join it. Link is in the description for that if you do want to join it. And once again, if you do want to comment anything which I didn't say in this video, which could be helpful for those potentially wanting to invest in this project, feel free to comment that. Do be kind and generous with your words though, because we do want to try to have a healthy community as well. So anyway guys, much love, ta-ta, fare thee well, be safe,